संवर्तते अयमेव हरियो अट्टङ्गिको मतो सेयतीदं संवादित्ति संवा संकप्पो संवा वाचा संवा कम्मन्तो
Good evening, Dhamma friends. Wish you all the blessings from the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, the Noble Triple Gem. Today is December 7, Saturday. We are going to begin this evening Sutta Studies with a special attention to a particular Sutta. We try to analyze the Dhamma based on, if possible, few suttas. If not, with the particular sutta we select. Let us begin today's sutta discussion with usual respect to the Supreme Buddha. Let's recite Namo Tassa 3 times to pay our due respect now. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. I pay my homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the fully enlightened one. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the fully enlightened one. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the fully enlightened one. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, friends, you are warmly welcome for today's Sutta discussion. The notification about the Sutta studies was only sent by this late afternoon. That is because of various duties and responsibilities I had for last few days and also today. After 3 days, 4 days visit to DC and also Bhavana Monastery, I was able to come, this early morning. And this morning, as you know, I had few sessions with Dharma and also some programs in the afternoon, so that I was not able to send you that notification about today's Sutta study class earlier. Anyhow, as a quick response, you all came to the Sutta studies. I hope a lot of our friends have gatherings these days due to the holiday season. Still, you are working, but the holiday season begin very soon, and you are getting ready for that with various activities. So I understand that many people might be joining with those programs. Anyhow, you have come to the Sutta studies to spend 1 hour or so for understanding Dharma. Anything click for us is really important. You may listen to the Dharma many times in your life, but certain times that Dharma come to us is extraordinary. In other words, some points of Dhamma, echoed in our mind very much because of sincerity and clarity we have in our mind, and also because of some connection we have throughout our life, throughout many lifetime. So sometime we understand certain Dhamma facts better than before. That is because of continuous effort on noble qualities. Sometimes they become matured. So who knows, it could happen during this discussion. It could happen during the morning meditation. It could happen during while you think about the Dhamma on your own. So that only thing as practitioners we should do to put our right effort, do things, do actions, engage with, so that things could happen to you. With that in mind, I appreciate your participation for today's Sutta discussion. I thought I should do even if there is one, because this would be the last Sutta discussion for this year if uh, we do not do a session between 22nd of December to 30th of December. We have one day, one Saturday during that period, and I'm happy to do it. But if friends are busy, I may not be able to do so. That's why I'm telling that this would be the last Sutta discussion for 2024. So I want to conduct the class without cancellation, because I had a lot of cancellation this year. And next week I won't be available for Sutta discussion due to my another trip. So anyhow, we are happy. Let's begin the Sutta studies. As I mentioned in the flyer, the Sutta we are going to talk as the theme Sutta is Sila Sutta. This is from Samyutta Nikaya, section number 46. 46. Section number 46 is about, excuse me, is about 7 factors of enlightenment, Sattabojjhanga. And the third sutta of that long section is Sila Sutta. What is the relationship between Sila and 7 factors of enlightenment? Does the same type of Sila we understand talk about here, or different type of Sila? How Sila could bring the 7 factors of enlightenment into practice? See, these are some of the highlighting questions we could have in our mind in order to understand the context of the sutta. If I go through the lines of the sutta, that would be helpful for you to understand the sutta, especially important factors. This is a discourse uttered by the Buddha when he was at the greatest monastery. So that part is missing from the translation, but we know that it happens at that place. And then we have this bhikkhus. Those bhikkhus who are accomplished in virtue, accomplished in concentration, accomplished in wisdom, accomplished in liberation, accomplished in the knowledge and vision of the liberation. Even the sight of those bhikkhus is helpful. The Buddha said here a very interesting statement. Those who have accomplished 5 things: Sila, virtues; Samadhi, concentration; Panya, wisdom; liberation, vimukti; and then knowledge and vision of liberation, vimukti jnana darsana. Those bhikkhus who have completed all these 5, Sila, Samadhi, Panya, Vimukti, Vimukti, Jnana, Darshana, in Pali. The Buddha said, even seeing this monk, not talking to them, not having any conversation, even seeing those monks who have completed the 5 is helpful for us. That's what the Buddha said. Even listening to them, even approaching them, even attending on them, even recollecting them, even going forth after them is helpful, I say. For what reason? So, Buddha is very carefully uttered here that even seeing them, even listening to them, even approaching them, even attending on them, even recollecting them, and also becoming monks and nuns under them is a helpful It's a blessing for you. For what reason? Because when one has heard the Dhamma from such bhikkhus, one dwells withdrawn by way of two kinds of withdrawal. Withdrawal of body, withdrawal of mind. Why do I say that seeing these monks who have completed fighting is beneficial? Because seeing them, approaching them, attending on them, listening to them brings you two important things for you. That is kaya upakena, the Pali word. I would tell you that these are the Pali terms Buddha used. Tang upakasena upakatto virati kayupakasena chittupakasena, which means you are going to have mental and physical tranquility as a result of seeing these wonderful monks and nuns, listening to these wonderful monks and nuns, attending on them, approaching them, and becoming monks and nuns under them gives you bodily tranquility and mental tranquility. Upakatena means upakasena means your mind now is busy with greed, hatred, and ignorance. Having associated these monks only for a short period of time, even seen them, brings you a moment to experience that bliss in your mind, in your body. So that is why I'm telling you, seeing these wonderful monks is beneficial. Of course, this is a fact that we can connect to Mangala Sutta. The Mangala auspicious 38 auspicious things are uttered by the Buddha in Mangala Sutta as a response to a divine being for a question he asked. So one of the auspicious thing for all of us is Samananancha Dasana. Seeing monks and nuns who are worthy of respect, who are in the Noble Eightfold Path, is an auspicious thing. Just seeing, because when you see a noble person who discipline himself or herself with the Dhamma and Vinaya, you're going to make your mind happy. You look at them twice. You tend to ask questions. You would definitely nurse them. You would provide them some sort of facilities. Perhaps you give some food. Perhaps you say can I help you. Even these words brings you merits, because they are powerful in their moral principles, in their concentration, wisdom, liberation, and the knowledge and vision of path liberation, so that their presence is quite enough for many people to accumulate merits. So that's why Buddha said that not only those physical and mental relaxation, under that there are many other things you could get. So that is true, because we have seen this many times in our life, that when we associate a monk who has a lot of experience in Dhamma, natural blessings, natural come to us, and there is a tendency that good things happen in that environment. So that is working. And even for a layperson, if there is a very virtuous, pious, obedient, disciplined layperson, everybody likes him. Even people who are quick tempers might be disciplined by way of seeing these people. So therefore, it does not work only with the monks. It could work in your society as well. So those who are really disciplined by the Dhamma are giving blessings to the entire society. So this is what the Buddha said. Dwelling this, Buddha said this just because of one reason. He said that there are two things could happen to you if you either seen them or listen to them or nurse on them or whatever as physical and mental relaxation. And Buddha has taken that step to tell something very important for us. We'll see what it is. Dwelling thus withdrawn, one recollects that that Dhamma one recollects that Dhamma and thinks it over. Whenever bhikkhus, a bhikkhu dwelling thus withdrawn, recollect that Dhamma and thinks it over, on that occasion, the enlightenment factor of mindfulness is aroused by the bhikkhu. So when there is a singular term called bhikkhu, it means everyone is applied there, not only particular bhikkhu, but it is for everyone. So what did the Buddha say here? When you have that mental and physical tranquility, when you have those monks' presence for you, when you listen to a such Dhamma from that particular monk or monks, uh, you recollect that Dhamma, you remember that Dhamma, you are going to keep them in your mind and think about your life and everything you remember based on that Dhamma, because you are now associate people who should be associated. The Dharma is coming from them, so that you are recollecting, you are thinking over on the Dharma they explain. As a result, what happened to you? Your mindfulness. On that occasion, the enlightenment factor of mindfulness is aroused by the bhikkhu. So when you recollect, when you remember what this monk said, what that monk said, what the text says, what the Buddha said, so you take some time and recollect or think over and over. As a result, the enlightenment factor of mindfulness is coming to be. It arises because your mind now is on working something those great disciples of the Buddha said. That we for sure know that they are saying something very important for mental cultivation. So now we think about it over and over. As a result, your mind has now mindfulness, which means it is awakened. It is kind of aware of what exactly the mind thinks. So the enlightenment factor of mindfulness is the first one out of seven factors of enlightenment. So on that occasion, the bhikkhu develops the enlightenment factor of mindfulness. On that occasion, the enlightenment factor of mindfulness come to fulfillment by development in the bhikkhu. So when you understand that your mind is alert, mind is ardent, mind is watchful, mind has that mindful nature, you keep it, you let it grow, you let it, stand as a strong force in your mind. So it becomes mature, it becomes, stronger. As a result, at the end, this enlightenment factor of mindfulness is going to fulfill its quality. As a quality, it comes to our mind naturally and automatically, because now I use these two words, naturally and automatically, because of your practice it comes. Unless there is practice, there is no such thing. So only thing what you do is keep your mind on what do you call the dharma that those great disciples explain. Right? So the enlightenment factor of mindfulness now have arisen in your mind. See whether you have it actually. Suppose you heard about the Dhamma sermon and you go and listen to. When you listen to, do you feel that kind of release from uh, average normal suffering, frustration? So your mind is busy throughout the day and you listen to a Dharma talk. Can you find that peace by listening to that Dharma? So these are some of the things you should do before this. And when you do it over and over, your mind is going to tranquilize. Then you are able to, as the Sutta explained, bring mindfulness as an enlightenment factor into maturity. So we'll continue reading. So how does the first enlightenment factor is coming to effect? So you listen to those great monks, you listen to the Buddha, you listen to somebody a bhikkhu or bhikkhuni, whoever it is. So now you reflect that Dhamma over and over. Having reflected, you gain that confidence, you gain that essence in your mind called mindfulness. So the factor of enlightenment, so which means mindfulness is being developed into a state where you take you to a state where you feel that enlightenment factor of mindfulness. So mindful for an average person, there is mindfulness. He is alert about what he feels, what he thinks, what he does, and so forth. But the person who has done some spiritual training also has that mindfulness, and that mindfulness could be differ from the previous average person, because this individual who develops some Dhamma knows what exactly happening in his mind. So this mindfulness, therefore, is an enlightenment factor of mindfulness, which means that quality can take you to enlightened stages if you really pay attention to it. So then we'll continue. Dwelling thus mindfully, he discriminates that Dhamma with wisdom, examines it, makes an investigation of it, right? So now you have mindfulness. Mindfulness has risen into a greater extent, and using that, you investigate the Dhamma. You investigate your own mind, your own body, and anything you felt. You investigate them as with wisdom, not without wisdom. In order to investigate, you should have some guidelines. Otherwise, you are going away from wisdom. So guidelines are made by the Dhamma, so that based on that, you think about about you what you have mindfully, and as a result, what happened to you, your quality of investigation is being developed. This is how it says. Whenever a bhikkhu dwelling thus mindfully discriminates that Dhamma with wisdom, examine it, makes an investigation of it, on that occasion, the enlightenment factor of discrimination or of states is aroused by the bhikkhus. This is called Dhamma Vichaya. So you put everything into analysis. You are not accepting anything without analysis. That is the basic nature of Dhamma Vichaya. Dhamma means Dharma, the truth. Vichaya means Vinichaya, investigation. So you are now mindful in the first place, and then based on mindfulness, you investigate or examine things arise in your mind, and now you become good with that. Now you are very clever on doing that, because you do it over and over. As a result, the factor of investigation factor of enlightenment factor of investigation arises in you, and you feel it, and let you or further do certain things to grow it well until you feel safe. So this is called the enlightenment factor of investigation or discrimination or Dhamma Vichaya. So we have been now talking about 2 out of 7, sati, enlightenment factor of mindfulness, and Dhamma Vichaya, the enlightenment factor of investigation. These are very important elements for nirvana. Next, while he discriminates that Dhamma with wisdom, examines it, makes an investigation of it, his energy is aroused without slackening. Whenever whenever a bhikkhu's energy is aroused without slackening, as he discriminates that Dhamma with wisdom, examine it, makes an investigation of it, on that occasion, the enlightenment factor of energy is aroused by the bhikkhu. Okay, so now you examine the Dhamma, you investigate the Dhamma. When you continue to do so, what happened was what happened is another important quality is arising in your mind, and you can appear that is virya, energy. It's not the physical energy. It talks about the mental energy. So as long as you think, you can keep your mind on the same subject, and keeping your mind on same subject is called energies, mental energy. So that is being aroused as a result. Energy is aroused without slackening. So when this energy arises in his mind, what happened on that occasion? The bhikkhu developed the enlightenment factor of energy. On that occasion, the enlightenment factor of energy comes to fulfillment by development in that bhikkhu. So very important thing is, we need that energy as a whole, as a force. So how do you come to develop that? First, you understand, first you become mindful, then you investigate, examine, and when you examine and investigate, you need perfect attention. So mental energy is restored in order to do the physical and mental development. So we are talking about a very important thing now. So the combination of mindfulness, combination of investigation, and combination of spiritual energy is really, really important. If you remember the Sutta Mahachattari in Majjhima Nikaya, Buddha was to talk about the noble concentration, how we get noble concentration. There, the Buddha clearly said that the presence of right understanding, right effort, right mindfulness together is important. They should not come one after the other. They should come together in our mind in order to develop something great, something positive. Likewise, we can see here that first enlightenment factor of mind factor is mindfulness. Second is dhammavichaya or investigation, and the third one is virya, which is quite similar to samma vayama in noble eightfold path. So three things are now being cleared. Examining the dhamma, be mindful about everything and examining what you are mindful, and then keeping your undivided mental energy on what you are having now in mind. So these are interwoven, interconnected. So one doesn't come when the other is absent. Everything comes together. Mindfulness, uh, Dhamma analysis or investigation, and then spiritual energy. Okay, the sutta goes further with this. Dwelling, when his energy is aroused, there arises in him spiritual rapture. Whenever whenever spiritual rapture arises in a bhikkhu whose energy is aroused, on that occasion, the enlightenment factor of rapture is aroused by the bhikkhu. On that occasion, the bhikkhu develops the enlightenment factor of rapture. On that occasion, the enlightenment factor of rapture comes to fulfillment by development in bhikkhu. So now Buddha talks about the Piti Bojjhanga in Pali. So how Piti or rapture rises in us, so long we keep our mind on Virya, that means we try our best to keep good things in mind. As a result, we feel rapturous. We feel that happiness in mind. Piti. Piti is a wonderful thing. We use this word in our language for various mundane happiness too. For example, if you see someone who you want to see for a long time, you feel, oh, I am I have rapture. In Pali, in also in Sinhala, we say this that we became so happy. But that happiness is very normal, and there is nothing to do with the spirituality, because you satisfy your sense and now there is result. But when it comes to spiritual aspect of rapture, it is coming only when mind is goes step by step on the noble path, right? Rapture is a very important one, and it should not be gained by somebody just by seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling, and so forth. You should have some sort of investigation, perseverance, and mindfulness together in order to have it. So energy, the immediate results, immediate cause for it is, spiritual energy. Without a spiritual energy, you are not going to experience that rapture. I don't know whether you get it, because suppose we talk about the happiness out of meditation. Happiness from meditation is the thing we need to discuss now. So you sit and keep your mind on the meditation subject for a few minutes. Then you try, again you try. It seems everything is okay, but it doesn't work. So something like that happened to you. Okay. So have you find happiness from that meditation? No, because your mind was all over. So then, in order to make your mind relaxed and calm and happy, what you need to have is the prerequisite of meditation. Perhaps you should have, kept everything behind. You shouldn't be worried about anything. You must be having some free time. So if everything has there in your mind and body for a successful journey in meditation, there it works. But if you haven't prepared yourself for meditation, meditation doesn't gives you anything, even though you sit for longer period. So you see that keeping your mind on noble qualities over and over without erasing them from your mind help you next time sit and calm quickly and bring that rapture. So in effect, to have rapture in your experience, you should have perseverance of spiritual energy. So the like before, the Buddha said that enlightenment factor of rapture rises in the person who stand on other previous qualities, and he or she not only stays there, they are going to develop the very important quality they experience now until it reach to the highest level. So it means the highest level is talk about with the arhant's spiritual energy. So at least some sort of spiritual energy could be achieved by way of right thinking, and rapture is arisen in you because of right thinking, right investigation, right perseverance. Okay, so in the text there are many suttas for explaining these seven bojjangas in details, how one can come to this particular bojjanga to develop it, and how one should develop the other one, and so forth. There are such teaching here. We don't go that far, but basically we know that rapture is something pleasant, something uh, very interesting. Other, if there is no rapture in the dharma list, I think the whole path is going to be boring. Whole path, noble path, is going to be boring for all if there is no happiness out of the practice of the noble eightfold path. So we know that practicing dharma in the noble eightfold path is bringing us happiness. Some people try to say that practicing dharma in an intense way is a suffering for life. Why do we worry about meditation? Why do we sit for longer period? So it's so painful. Why not we do only charity work and then fulfill our targets? No, some people do not accept that kind of ideas, because they know that taking our mind into rapturous state or pleasant state is like you are you have a flashlight to go to somewhere in the darkness. So when you have rapture in your mind, it influences you more more to do on the Dhamma. It takes you to a different conclusion where Dhamma is really manifested because you have satisfied your mind. So rapture means throughout the Dhamma practice, you become happy about your Dhamma practice. That means you have rapture. So it is the fourth uh, enlightenment factor of out of 7. And now we go to the next one. If there is rapture, if there is internal peace and happiness in mind, then what happened? For one whose mind is uplifted by rapture, the body becomes tranquil and the mind becomes tranquil. Whenever the body becomes tranquil and the mind becomes tranquil in a bhikkhu whose mind is uplifted by rapture, on that occasion, the enlightenment factor of tranquility is aroused by the bhikkhu. See, when there is rapture, it lead you to experience something else also. As you see, it's bodily tranquility and mental tranquility. That means both body and mind are serene, relaxed, have stopped wandering. That kind of things is uttered by this particular tranquility, bodily tranquility and mental tranquility. So on that occasion, the factor of tranquility, Passadhi Sambojjhanga, is coming to the surface because you have thought that rapture and tranquility, they are all working when only we pay attention to it. In order to pay attention and develop further and feel it better, you have to think about it. You have to put wholesome energy on it. Then for those whose body is in tranquil and who is happy, the mind becomes concentrated. So from various sources, I think from your own experience too, have you known this? When your mind is happy, when the body is relaxed, what is going to happen to your mind? Your mind is going to be calm and peaceful, and you would be able to look at one thing for a long time without its change, because the samadhi has arisen. Samadhi has arisen. That's why it says, who is happy, that happy the mind becomes concentrated. Without happiness in the mind, you cannot get samadhi. This is why we do all kind of things during a meditation. Before meditation, we put flowers in front of the Buddha, incense, and also other items, and we let people sit quietly and comfortably and ask them to, really engage with it, because having done all these things, they actually feel better. They find easy to concentrate. But how about if the whole house, whole temple is a mess? You cannot meditate. You cannot find that concentration, rapture. So in order to develop concentration, one should focus the condition for concentration. Conditions are, you should have your mind happy. You should have your mind worked on conditions for happiness. Then only you become happy, and as you are happy, you reach to samadhi. If you take a meditation session, for example, as I said, we chant the number of principles we follow. We say Namo Tassa, Buddhan Saranam, Dhamman Saranam, Sanghan Saranam, and we added more. Why do we do this? Just to make your mind happy, just to take your mind from usual things and make it happy. With happiness, it is easier to take your mind to those samadhi qualities very much. So whenever bhikkhu, the mind becomes concentrated in a bhikkhu whose body is tranquil and who is happy, on that occasion, the enlightenment factor of concentration is aroused by the bhikkhu. So long you keep your mind on bodily tranquility, mental tranquility, and rapture. Even if you hear a sound of breaking something, you keep your mind calm and peaceful. As a result, you would be easily getting into a samadhi experience because your mind is happy. So that is another enlightenment factor. We already talked mindfulness as an enlightenment factor. Investigation or examining as enlightenment factor. Then we talk about the energy, spiritual energy as the third enlightenment factor. And we talk about piti, rapture as an enlightenment factor. Then we talk about the tranquility. And now we are nearly finishing talking about the samadhi, concentration. So far we have covered 6, and the last one is equanimity. He closely looked on with equanimity in the mind, thus concentrated. So suppose you have now concentration, which means your mind is undisturbed by anyone. So you have concentration. With concentration, you think, you wisely analyze. So that bhikkhu look on with equanimity at the mind, thus concentrated on that occasion. Enlightenment factor of equanimity is aroused by the bhikkhu. So as long as you uh, uh, keep thinking on equality or equanimity, the sameness, you are going to experience less craving, no craving, zero craving, because you have developed that particular nature in your mind that is called, uh, uh, nothing is permanent, everything is impermanent. So equanimity, upekka, is arisen in you. So this is the seventh factor of enlightenment, upekka. So upekka come into exist just because you understand the point, and then let it grow, and that's how all these 7 factors of enlightenment are being developed with so much care. Everyone is interconnected, everything is there. If you miss something, so it's a kind of what you call engage practice. So you become mindful within you, you organize them, and in the society you organize them, these things with others. So at last it says, he closely looked at on with equanimity at the mind, thus concentrated. Whenever bhikkhu closely look on with equanimity at that mind, thus concentrated on that occasion, the enlightenment factor of equanimity is aroused by the bhikkhu. On that occasion, the bhikkhu develops the equanimity factor of enlightenment factor of equanimity. On that occasion, the enlightenment factor of equanimity comes to fulfillment by the development in the bhikkhu. So if you have come across the 7 factors of enlightenment before, you realize how these 7 come into maturity. First, to start with recollection over and over, not only once, many times, and therefore you have that chance to investigate. Second factor of enlightenment come into also, and then the third one, virya, or the energy is rising in your mind. So you recognize these enlightenment factors in your mind, in your experience, which is very important. There you next have piti, some passaddhi, rapture is recognized in your mind, and then tranquility arises in your mind, and then samadhi also come into its fulfillment, and now equanimity or upekka is there. So this is how these 7 factors gradually, accordingly developed in us. So, because when these 7 factors of enlightenment have been developed and cultivated in this way, 7 fruits and benefits may be expected. What are the 7 fruits and benefits? So, that's important. Let's go to the first one. One attains final knowledge early in this very life. So final knowledge means arhanship, being a full enlightenment. When full enlightened person could be achieved if one practices these 7 factors of enlightenment. So the very word we use enlightenment is because of this reason. Enlightenment factor. These factors are not for anything else but for enlightenment. So if you uh, practice the 7 uh, in your mind, the first and very important things you could expect is the full enlightenment in this very life. After this, it says, if one does not attain final knowledge early in this very life, then one attains final knowledge at the time of death. So if you do not understand the Dharma in this manner and experience Nibbana right now, it is going to happen to you at the last moment of your life. If that does not happen now, it could happen to you at the last moment of your life, because you have been putting fuel for these 7 factors of enlightenment with your speech, with your action, with your thinking over and over. At any time you are able to do so. So that's why you are not dying as average human, but you are going to experience Nibbana before death because of the practice you are having now. So just keep in mind that we are not going without anything else. Even now you can come to the Dhamma practice on noble 7 qualities and be a winner. Perhaps you are not in that. Perhaps we are not in that category, but we have the chance. We try our best to do so. So, with the continues. So first thing, first benefits you could get is full enlightenment. And if that does not happen, you are going to experience the same thing just before your death. And if that is not happening, if one does not attain final knowledge early in this very life or at the time of death, then with the utter destruction of the 5 lower fetters, one becomes an attainer of Nibbana in the interval. So if you are not becoming a full enlightened person at the end of life, you are going to be a once return anagami, who definitely makes sure his attainment to full enlightenment at the last minute of his life. So he become a anagami. However, his state of anagami doesn't go further, because due to the strong Dhamma practice, you pass away from here and appear somewhere. Yeah, so you are going to attain full enlightenment sooner because of your practice. That is the third benefit. If one does not attain final knowledge early in this very life, and so become attain of then with the destruction of the 5 lower fetters, one become an attainer of Nibbana upon landing. So here in this sutta, we talks about different type of anagamis. Anagami means non-returners. They are not coming back to human life or divine life at all, but they are going to be Brahmas. They are not coming back to this calm world, sensual world. That's why they are called non-returners. They never return to sensual world due to their mental development. So there are a few categories of anagamis. Anyhow, none of them, do not waste their time. They always think about destruction of craving, destruction of fetters. So become enlightened is the most important quality for them. So that is another result. One does not attain final knowledge early in the life, and so on. They are going to be once returner, nonce returner. And when you come to the last lines of the sutta, when because these 7 factors of enlightenment have been developed and cultivated in this way, the 7 fruits and benefits may be expected, as we said. Either you become arhants right now, if it doesn't happen right now, it is going to happen just before your death. And then third occasion is, if you do not attain, if you do not get any of those two things, attainment of enlightenment now or later, you are going to be an anagami, reborn in those particular realm, and right there you attain full enlightenment. That's the third one. And if not, you are going to attain after landing and stay longer, and something like that. It is repeatedly saying here. So, friends, okay, that's the sutta, Sila Sutta. So, a bhikkhu or bhikkhuni or a layperson experience the 7 factors of enlightenment uh, with his or her practice. Look at the way the Buddha started. The person who associate great disciple. For example, here in the sutta, those who have Sila completed, Samadhi completed, Panya completed, Vimukti liberation completed, and Vimukti Jnana Dasana, the knowledge and vision of the liberation is completed. So, if you see these great monks and nuns and lay people often, you not only accumulate merits, sometimes you go and listen to them. Sometimes you keep those Dhamma facts they explain very much with so much devotion. Now, so having heard, you always recollect and remember them, then your mindfulness is rising. See how you started, how you start your Satta Bojjhanga. First, you have to have that skill in your mind. Think about beautiful things and let your friends know. Then your friends is going to be like that. So same thing is working here. So first, you have to listen to, and you have to attend to, you have to see those great people, and it is called Kalyanamita Sevana. There you achieve anything as we explain. So the Sila Sutta is therefore is a very clear instruction of the Buddha about the way to get the 7 factors of enlightenment. So that's pretty much the sutta. I can tell more, but the very important thing is to share knowledge, and what you want to say is also important for us. So let's have a discussion if you have anything significant. Have you heard that 7 factors of enlightenment are being very effective, especially during meditation? Because with any meditation subject, you are testing your mind on noble qualities such as wisdom, concentration, perseverance. So you are testing your ability to, own this. And if you own them, it would be easier for you to get challenges. You are being challenged. You are being challenged by the society and various other things in our mind very much. How do we defeat this? How do we face these challenges? So you should have these qualities. If you look at the 7, mindfulness, investigation, spiritual energy, rapture, tranquility, concentration, samadhi, and upekka. So when you see these 7, what do you think? What happened to you? You will be super cool. You will so calm. Your wisdom is so vast. You can sit on the floor and become silent. Your mind doesn't go here and there because you have been practicing the 7 factors of enlightenment as a package. So one, you practice one and you do not stop there. You go to next one because you find that is interesting. So at the end, you have known all the 7 factors of enlightenment very much and practice it into a certain extent too. Okay, So, is there anything you want to say? If you do not have anything to say, I would end today's discussion because I have a day-long program for tomorrow. And before that, I need to finalize many things uh, to organize certain things. So I would definitely end the discussion, Sutta discussion right now. And the Sutta we discuss, if I may remind you, the Sutta we discuss is from Samyutta Nikaya, section number 46, where the Buddha talks about the seven factors of enlightenment, Sattabojjhanga. This is Sila Sutta. I start by saying that don't miss those great monks and nuns who have achieved Sila Samadhi and Panya and Vimutti Mukti Jnana Dasana. So they are very qualified for various things. So having associated them, you can get mental purification, physical relaxation, so that you can develop all the seven factors of enlightenment for your well-being and happiness. So this is what the Sutta highlighted, and I wish may you be able to accomplish all the seven factors of enlightenment in this very life. Man, may you be one of those great disciples of the Buddha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.